turn on your camera. K. Anand and SK. Hi, Anand.
Hi, sir. It's happy to see you.
Good to see you too. So I welcome you in this third and concluding live session for this course, Modern Indian Political Thought. And this platform is better. In the sense you can interact with your SME face to face and discuss any questions or dots that you may have.
Sir, will we have negative marking in our examination? Negative
No,
marking, sir.
there is no negative marking in the final
Yes,
exam.
sir. I have a doubt regarding the
Yes.
topic. We
Mhm.
can see that we Savarkar is merely considered as a revivalist political thinker, but whereas Gandhi is also made a few extensions to these religious terms. uh, we can see that both of them is closely engaged to these religious rituals, right? But we can see Savarkar, whereas for his critics to Savarkar, he's merely as a revivalist thinker, but not Gandhi. He's not seen merely as a revivalist politician, right? What made the difference is this difference, like he was merely considered as a Savarkar is merely considered as a revivalistic politician, but whereas Gandhiji as a freedom fighter, not a revivalistic politician.
Yeah, so very good question, Anand. And it's a very complex one also. Now, in our political discourse, we tend to reduce a thinker within a particular framework, right? So, if you understand political ideology, then there are some liberals, some conservatives, some Marxists, some socialists. So these are the frame we apply to understand a thinker and his thought. But when we study them, these thinker and their ideas are far more complex. So even when we talk about Gandhi in ideological terms, it's very hard to put him in any box of ideology. So these thinkers are far more complex than our simplistic reductionist understanding of them. That's one. The second, coming back to your question of why Savarkar and his thought is considered as revivalist, whereas Gandhi is seen as a kind of non-revivalist, even though he uses Hinduism rituals and so on. I think it requires far more discussion than we can do in this live session. But and this debate is endless, right? When you put certain box and try to understand a thinker and his idea within that box, it is complex, and people may have different opinion on that. But let us say Gandhi, we did Hindu Swaraj, his critique of modern civilization, his idea of India, and so on. What is the so? It's true that he's using Hinduism, he's using religious vocabulary even in his political discourse, but he is accommodative. Accommodative, I know my
Yes, sir.
position, I know my religion, but I'm open to other and learn from others. So similarly, you have in Tagore, for
Yes, sir.
example,
Same approach also we can see in
even in
Savarkar thought also.
Aurobindo.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Aurobindo and
but
Savarkar also he considered that who follows the who lived in the uh, river bank of Sindhu, he considered like six
yes,
Jains,
yes, yes, yes.
and moreover
Yes,
like
six great epochs of Indian history.
yes,
Those arguments are there. So I begin with the complexities of these thinkers. It is for us usually using a simplistic and reductionist way to put one thinker against the other. There are many connecting threads, there are many overlapping ideas that exist, and that requires a kind of serious and deeper engagement and comparison between and among these thinkers. When you try to put one against the other and considering one as this is what I am saying, then it's become a kind of challenging, problematic thing. I agree with you. But overall, you can also differentiate between Gandhi and Savarkar, in a sense. If you look at Gandhi, Hindu Swaraj, particularly the text, and his views on India, are very different from the way Savarkar imagined his India and its classical phase. Now, what is the revivalist thing in Savarkar so pronounced in comparison to Gandhi? Even when he is using Hinduism, he call himself Sanatani and all that, is the narrow definition that who is Hindu, Pitrabhumi, or holy land and motherland, right? A land where we worship and also. So he has a very kind of exclusive idea of who is a Hindu in comparison to say Gandhi. Gandhi knew who is Hindu, but his idea of India is inclusive of many other things. So on those finer, minute details, you will certainly find a very different perspective about India, about Indians in Gandhi and Savarkar. And Savarkar, the focus is more about a golden past, a golden history that we need to revive and take pride in. So that makes him a kind of revivalist thinker, but he is far more complex than this very narrow, simplistic understanding of Savarkar. So I think on YouTube video there are lots of comment on this Savarkar and Nehru and also on Gandhi. But I'm glad about this question. And through this course you can go and read their origin. For instance, 6 epochs of India's glorious past by Savarkar, or essentials of Hindutva, and then Gandhi Hind Swaraj. And then you can actually compare and go beyond this very narrow, simplistic idea of putting a thinker in a particular box. I think I began this course with this idea to introduce you to these thinkers, and then depending upon your own interest, you can dig deeper.
Sir, like
Yes.
I have another question, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can see that Nehru's critique towards the League of Nations and the Union of Democracies after the First World War, which was formed by Woodrow Wilson. Later, the Second World War, we see many organizations like NATO, CETO, CENTO, but he didn't willing to join any of the sessions to these organizations because of the power politics. Did
Yes.
he criticize any of these organizations like NATO, CETO, and CENTO?
Yeah,
Like,
that
where
you
can
have
we
to
find this
understand.
stuff?
Nehru was a very pragmatic political thinker in a sense, in comparison to say Tagore or even Gandhi. Right? They remain in the normative ideal frame. Nehru was also to a great extent idealist, but very much a pragmatic political thinker. He was developing this idea of India not joining any of the group, and that was the context of Cold War, the division of world into one bloc led by US and another led by USSR. And the country like India, who got newly independent, to retain that independence. And how you can retain that independence? By maintaining your sovereignty, to having the right to decide your own foreign policy without getting any dictates from either bloc. So he started this non-alignment movement, and his idea of unseal, that was the basis of our foreign policy, was grounded in that kind of philosophy to A, maintain our independence and sovereignty, and B, without joining any group, work towards international peace and cooperation. So in that context, he was putting forward his argument. Yes. All right. Any question? Hi, Devi. I don't know the name of SK. Could you turn on your camera if it is possible? We can have interaction. So how is this course, Anand? Otherwise, what is your background?
Yes, sir. It's very interesting, sir. I'm an engineering student, sir. I study in Saram AP, Andhra Pradesh.
Okay, good to know.
Actually,
And I
I'm more
hope this.
interested in history and social, but the
Uh,
circumstances around me forced me to join
okay.
engineering.
Yeah, yeah, good. So I hope this course generates some interest in you about
Yes,
India's
it's very
uh,
interesting to
political
know about
thing.
our glorious past and our thinkers.
Yes, yes. Yeah, any other question? Hi, Darsini. You can turn on your camera if it is possible. You can share your experience about the course or any question that you
Sir,
have.
I found a mistake in the second PDF of Ambedkar. Like there is a change in year of birth. Actually, it is 1889, I think, but you mentioned it as 1891. If possible, please
Okay,
check it out.
so Ambedkar's PDF, you are saying?
Yeah, yes, sir. Second PDF.
Ambedkar's lecture second PDF. You are saying
Yes,
birth
sir.
year.
Yes, sir. Year
We'll
of birth.
correct. We'll correct it, Anand. Thank you. Yes, others can also raise their voice, ask question. This is meant for that only. Darsani, can you hear me? I don't know the full name. SK.
Sir, when will these all tickets will be released, sir?
Yes, I think they are preparing it, and hopefully 15 days before your exam, you should be able to get it.
Yes, sir. Why don't you guide us to get a good score in this
Huh?
exam? Why don't you guide us, sir, to get a good score in this exam?
I think the format of assessment is such that you can really score good marks. Um, how you can do it is like if you are submitting your assignments regularly, you know the kind of questions you are going to get, right? And if you are submitting your assignment, the final exam will also have some questions directly from the assignment. So if you do assignment regularly, even if you are making error, even if you are not scoring that well, you can use this assignment to know correct answer, right? And in the final exam, you will get uh, some questions directly from this. Then there are two other kind of question. One is like if you are watching the video regularly, you should be able to answer those questions. It's very simple based on your ability to recall or memory. And finally, there are comprehensive type questions which we will um, uh, which we have already discussed in many live sessions. But that is to basically assess your understanding of a thinker and his ideas. Now, to prepare for that, I think just for the purpose of exam, the video lecture, transcript that is available, and the PPT should be enough. If you do all these three, then you can score well in the exam, both in the assignment and also in the final exam. However, if you want to say the kind of question you have asked about, say, Savarkar and Gandhi, or Tagore and Nehru, this course introduce you to their key ideas, to their key text. Then on your own, you can further develop. And I think the last slide of the PPT give you that further reference from where you can on your own understand more about a particular thinker and his ideas. So that is how you can prepare and do well in the exam. I think all the
Sir,
questions in the
is there
assignment
any
and in
kind
final
of
exam will be from the same sources like video, transcript, or PPT. Yes,
Sir, is
Anand.
there any kind of e-library to access some of the resources that you
A
have
lot
mentioned?
of a lot of them are available now, like
Okay.
Digital
Can
Library
you
of India,
suggest
for
me?
example, even the archive.org, or many. I think uh, all these thinkers like B.R. Ambedkar, all his volumes are now published. So is on Gandhi, even Arvindo Ghosh. So much of their original writing you can access online. I think it should be easily available. You can try National Digital Library, but then also many other sources. All right, I think the others have already left, so I don't know how to proceed anymore. But let us wait for one more minute. If others are joining, then we can continue. Otherwise, we'll conclude. And I hope you are enjoying this course and learning it in your own ways. But I think discussion forum and the live session are meant for you to interact with your SME expert, subject matter expert, and then share your ideas, your experience, and also seek clarification. And you can do so. So this is the concluding live session, but you can use the discussion forum for any clarification or any thing that you wish to discuss or share related to the course and its topic. So we'll wait for one more minute, and then if there are no more questions, we'll just conclude this session. I don't think there are any more people, any more question. So it was nice to see
Sir,
you.
I have another question. Like,
Okay,
I
good.
find a question which is not there in the PDF, sir. To they given a book name and they ask it to match the correct author.
Hmm.
I don't remember the assignment number, week number, but
Okay.
I
Tell me
didn't
the
find
week number.
that. Sir,
Which week? Tell me the week.
yes, sir. Yeah, sir. That's what I'm searching. If you can give me a 2 minutes of time, then I can tell you.
Okay. All right. You tell me the question. What is it? So you were saying about the chronology
Like
of the book.
they asked a name. They have given a name of the book, sir, and they asked it to match you
Hmm.
with the correct author, or they are asked to find the correct pair of book and the author name.
Hmm.
Uh, that
So you
I
find
couldn't
it.
find it anywhere. I have googled it, then I able to get it. Within
So, Anand, why don't you do one thing? You write this on the discussion forum. We'll cross check it with our assignment and see if there is some issue with that question or not. We'll be certainly responding to your queries.
sure.
But I think if you do some cross check on your part, just check that question with that particular thinker or that particular week. Hopefully, in the PPT or in the PDF, there will be some correction or some all right.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
So let me conclude this live session. It was glad to see you, Anand, and interact with you. and hopefully you will enjoy learning the course and giving you feedback. Good luck for exam, and thanks for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.